Yep.
That's the way it is.
Good morning, folks. Welcome to another Black Book Half an Hour. Hope everybody is doing well. I'm here. I'd like to introduce the Black Book team. Robbie, how you doing?
Blessed this morning. Great to be here.
Okay. Got a special guest here, a friend of mine. Q, how you doing, Q?
Hey, how we doing? Glad to be part of the crew this morning. Hey, hello everybody. Let's get it cracking.
Yeah, okay, and we got Crazon, one of our sponsors. How you doing, Crazon?
That's right. Lordland Films. If you need film editing, filming, photography, give me a call. 702-793-7757. That's 702-793-7757. We will get your film, your photography correct, so you will be proud to present it.
Okay, great. And last but not least, Miss Teresa Butts. How you doing?
Good morning, Las Vegas. I am your Legal Beagle, Legal Shield, 702-715-9777. Today, I just want to challenge everyone out there. We're talking about investment and spending. We're on a 90-day run. For 90 days, let's see how much money you can save. 90 days is all we're challenging you to do.
Okay, great. Well, today, our topic is going to be an interesting topic. It's going to be the boom is coming. Are you ready? But before we do that, a little housekeeping. I'd like to thank a couple of past guests who've come in. Frank Hawkins, Ernest Fountain, Scott Johnson. Really appreciate you all coming in and sharing your knowledge. You are what helped the Black Book Half an Hour do what we want to, and that's inform the community so that they will be ready to go out and succeed and win. I'd like to give a shout out to Miss Ava Bizzle. She is the owner of the Write-Up, which is our urban newspaper. She came down from Arizona to hang out and party with Vegas. And she did it at Classic Jewel, a black-owned restaurant, a black-owned bar. Had a great time. She wants to thank Classic Jewel for being there, and we want to thank her. She brought over 40 people come down here in a bus to hang out and party with Las Vegas at a black-owned bar. So thanks again. And I'd like to give the last shout-out to the new Black Book members. Mike, owner of CKE Embroidery. If you're looking to have your shirts embroidered, give him a call. He's on the Black Book. www.theblackbookdirectory, www.theblackbook.directory, or you can download it on your Android, The Black Book. Side Chicks, great restaurant, great food. Their catfish is phenomenal. Man, it's over on MLK. You need to go down and check out Side Chicks. They're new to the Black Book. And last but not least, Early Start Tax Services. We thank you for being on the Black Book also. Now, events, calendar of events. Before we get started, please mark your calendar May 5th at Raw Remedies, first Friday. We are going to throw down from about 6 o'clock to 10 o'clock. We're going to have Miss Black Teen Nevada. She'll be there. We want to get to know her. We want to wish her well, and we want to support her as she goes down and she competes. We're going to recognize a couple of our nonprofits doing big things. Shout out AK's Closet. We want to give some recognition and love to her. Mimra. We want to give some recognition and love. And Wings, we're going to also recognize them. So come out. We're going to have some booths. We have limited booths. You can contact us if you're interested in promoting your products or services at the Raw Remedies first Friday. There's going to be music. There's going to be live music. There's going to be songs. There's going to be DJs. It's going to be a blast. But it's all about us getting to know each other so that we can then do business with each other. The next thing I'd like you to mark on your calendars is my buddy here, Q. He has a stage play. It's called "Can a Woman Raise a Man?" Q, tell us real quick a little bit about it. It's going to be September 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. So Q, tell us a little bit about what's going on there.
Absolutely, Brian. Hey, want to say hello and welcome to everybody. Hello, Wake Up Las Vegas. We're so excited to be bringing Can a Woman Raise a Man. The book has been doing phenomenal, and now we have the stage play. starring Christopher Williams, Thelma Guyton from Bad Boy, and a host of others. We're excited about that. It's going to be September 2nd and 3rd, but the 1st, I'm excited to announce we're going to be partnering with Las Vegas Black Book to do a celebrity mixer where you can come and meet and greet the stars and just mix and mingle. Going to get ready for an incredible Labor Day weekend. We have 2 shows. The after party on Sunday is hosted by none other than our own area's Aaron Arrington, leader of the Facebook Corral. Has been holding the Sunday after party mixer. Saturday is just going to be incredible. So we got an incredible play. There'll be 2 shows each night, one at 7 and one at 8:45. It's right here in your community at the West Las Vegas Theater, and it just looks to be phenomenal. And we are excited. Can a woman raise a man? I can't tell you the answer. You can get it at Amazon.com, BarnesandNobles.com, and get you a ticket for the play. We're excited about it.
Great, great. I'll be there. And again, we are going to, the Black Book and crew, we're going to host with a site to be determined. It will be hosted on that Friday. So look forward to see you there. Now, interesting topic we're going to talk about today is the boom is coming. Folks, we got a stadium coming. We've got a $100 million project that is happening in North Las Vegas. We've got a water park being built. There's so much construction that's going on in Vegas. You're going to see a mini boom. You're going to see a boom. But the question we need to ask ourselves as African Americans is, are we ready? Are we ready? And what does ready mean? Before I give my input, I'm going to let the folks here kind of give me their opinions on what they see coming and their opinions about, are we ready? Okay?
Well, thank you, Brian, for the opportunity to chime in here. But, you know, one of the most important things is that when something like this is occurring in your community, you know, you've got the stadium, but not the stadium, the team coming in here. They're a $1.2 billion team. And one of the opportunities, or several of the opportunities, really is based on the fact that, are we ready to engage a multi-billion or a billion-dollar corporation? What that means is, are you in a position to take opportunities and really make them a reality? If you don't have yourself positioned, for example, if you're not clear about what service you offer, it's very important to understand the needs of these organizations. They don't basically come out here to write a check. You know, they essentially want to do business. And we need to understand doing business means that you have to provide a very clear business or service that you can engage on a very high level. So that's one thing. The second thing is, you know, there's going to be residual opportunities, not just a matter of the job or the build out that will happen when all these projects actually get started, but also the residual opportunities that will be ongoing, whether it's concessions, whether it's things like catering or transportation. So we really need to understand the needs of the organizations that are coming in so that we can position ourselves to take advantage of those opportunities.
So are we ready?
That's the question. And I don't think that we are, because from what we can see and we hear, people are talking about, you know, the opportunities coming in, but there's no real understanding of how to galvanize groups, business groups, or consortiums. You know, one of the things that will happen is that everyone will try to seize the moment, right? But if there is no cohesiveness in how you approach that, then everyone loses. And I think it's a matter of really, as things are beginning to percolate, to begin to have dialogue, and not just dialogue, but working agreements, memorandums of understanding, how we're going to approach this so that we don't miss out on this opportunity that's maybe 10, 12, 20 years down the road. We're still talking about how we're going to take advantage of opportunities. So we really need to galvanize. Now, I don't think we're quite ready yet. We've never had a major league team in this city, and it's something that's happening for the first time.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of unpreparedness, but I think we have an opportunity, since it's now beginning to happen. We're on the ground level. We need to take advantage of those opportunities to build something.
Okay, great. Next, what do you think, Miss Teresa?
I think Robbie's so correct. It's, are we ready? The next question would be, can we get ready? I mean, we have an opportunity to get these contracts, to get into making some money. There's black organizations out there that are having business courses to help you. You got to make sure you got your license. You got to make sure you got your paperwork ready. You got to make sure that you're ready to bid on these contracts. And if you're not sure how to bid, go get the training before they get here. But if you try to bid on a contract and you're not ready and you lose, you're already out of the game. So it's time that if we're not ready, it's time that we get ready.
I love to jump in. I think that he makes an incredible point about the preparation. One is that most of us who have been in Las Vegas or live in Las Vegas for some time, I'm new here. I moved here from the Maryland, D.C. area. But most of the people who are here are used to being in the service industry and working around hospitality or the casino industry. This is what we call a paradigm shift, which now, as Robbie stated, that they're wanting to do business. So they're looking for another boss, another owner to do business with. So the mindset has to shift from us normally being in Las Vegas service oriented to actually being executive oriented and being bosses and being prepared. So I think that's the shift that has to happen, is that you now have an opportunity not just to go work at a hotel, et cetera, but to offer, like you said, a bid, a contract, and to be a boss. So if there's going to be a change in the shift, I think the change in the mindset has to be to executive level leadership, something that we're very used to where I'm from in D.C. And Maryland. We're just used to being in executive positions. So I think that shift has to come to our area.
Okay.
I think everyone is on the same mind state. This is Crazy D from Lordland Films. Are we ready as a full group of people? I would say right now, no. Just like my brother said here, most people are in the service industry, so they're looking to get a job instead of bringing a service that is of value to that particular organization that's coming here, right? And so that's what people have to go into. Like when I first dropped down here in Las Vegas 5 years ago, I didn't come in with my hands out saying, give me a job. I came in bringing opportunity, saying, here, I have this platform. I have this for actors. Come in, do this. You will be seen, heard, recognized, and appreciated. So when you come down to speaking to an organization like that, you have to show them how they're going to be seen, heard, recognized, and appreciated through the service that you provide. Okay. So are most of us ready? Not yet. But like he said, our minds have to shift into being a commodity that is valuable, bringing a service that is valuable on an equal playing field, on an equal level.
Okay, great. Now I'll give my opinion last, and I appreciate everybody. Are we ready? We are not ready, folks. I wish I said we were, but we're not. When you look at what's going on right now, a majority of the contract opportunities, the construction opportunities are out there. But when you look at our participation in the unions, when you look at our participation in having the size businesses that actually can even bid these, we have very few. We have literally 3, maybe 4 contractors that could potentially bid on a lot of these projects, but that's about it. Yeah. That's about it. We have, we might as well face the fact the majority of these businesses will be built with construction labor, and we're not in the construction fields. So I'm going to talk a couple more minutes about why we're not ready, and then we need to talk a little bit, how do we get ready? Because here's a fact. Right now, the unemployment in Nevada is roughly 5%. That means everybody else is working, because guess what? African Americans are historically twice the unemployment rate of the norm. So if Nevada is about 5%, I don't even want to grab a pen. We're at least 10%, and that's not including the ones incarcerated. That's not including the ones who've given up. Wow. We have a lot of opportunities to catch up, but we've got to get ready, folks. We've got to get ready. And you look at it again. So we have to look at it. How, from an employment aspect, can we get into the construction fields? Because we got to stop thinking minimum. Man, minimum wage. We need to improve. No, we need to think maximum. How do we get in the fields? We got to get our kids to think about construction jobs as being sexy.
Absolutely.
I talked to a person who kind of said that, and he's a person who's well versed. He's a self-made person. He says, the problem in the African American community is they don't see construction as sexy. But guess what? If I can make $70,000 a year, if my kids can make $70,000, $80,000 a year, they can buy a house, they can afford a car, they can take trips. man, that's a sexy job.
It's a livable wage.
It's more than a livable wage.
Absolutely.
Exactly. And to a point, we have to start redirecting our kids, and we need to also work with some folks to say, how do we, as African Americans, take advantage of the construction industry, but also our businesses? Realistically, to play in this game, you have to have a company that's either is unlimited or up in the $10 to $20 million range to play. We don't have a lot of them here. And guess what? If only one is doing it, only one is surviving. We got to figure out how the masses are starting to get in the playing field. We got to stop complaining. We got to come up with solutions. And that's why we're going to start now. We're going to turn this to solutions. And again, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to look at it last, but I'm also going to talk about something called Senate Bill 126, because that's part of the solutions. And I got to ask, if anybody knows about Senate Bill 126, you call me up on 702-647-3688. I know a little bit about it, but we have to be more understanding from the aspects of what happens politically also. Yeah, again, you say what?
What is it exactly?
What is it?
Yeah.
Okay. Senate Bill SB 126 establishes a program to provide small business loans. It's sponsored by Aaron Ford. Shout out to Aaron Ford for doing this one. The big thing is it's in jeopardy. Our governor may not sign it. Guess what? This bill was designed so the folks who don't have that great credit, who can't get the money from the bank, this is a test case to say how maybe the government, maybe the state will give us loans when we don't have great credit, the best credit, as long as we pay it back. And my understanding is they were looking to have a $2 million trial with the objective of funding it to $20 million. And that's one of the solutions, and we'll come back to there, because access to capital is continuing to be a major problem for us to be in the playing field. And that's why I always say that black power is a three-legged stool. Part of that stool is our political agenda. If we as African Americans are oblivious to bills like this, if we aren't supporting Senator Aaron Ford by calling in and letting our representatives know and letting the governor know that we need him to support this, then we'll never have the power we need. So again, that was part of one of the suggestions, or one of the solutions, is we need to understand and go forward. But I'm going to start back. Who wants to talk first about their ideas of how we can fix this? What are some solutions? I'll go last again.
Well, with respect to that particular bill, I think one of the historic challenges for African American businesses has always been capital. I mean, going back to 100 years or so, we've always had legal barriers to accessing capital. So whatever we can do to help small and black-owned businesses in particular is extremely important. So whatever we can do to support that is important. The second thing is about, engaging in a new economy. By the time the stadium's built, we're talking about not only a different paradigm in terms of shifting your mindset about ownership, but also the technology that's involved in engaging in this new economy. Wow. So whatever we can do, as Teresa mentioned earlier, it's about building skills. So folks that might be employed in a certain industry right now, think about what you need to do to become viable in this economy, and either going to school, going on YouTube. There are free classes. I actually take free classes at Harvard right now, Harvard and Oxford. They're all free online. Free, yes. So go, EDX is a free platform to educate you on data analytics, all those kinds of things that will be extremely important in the new economy. So skills is the name of the game. If you don't have skills, you become obsolete. And it doesn't even matter having a conversation, because it's not going to really matter at all.
You're right. If you're not ready, then there's no opportunity. Who's next?
I love to jump in there. I'm always the controversial one, so here we go with the controversy. First, exactly like Brother Robbie was talking about, there's going to be a new, not just economy created or new technology, but literally you're talking about an entirely new culture. So we have to be prepared and adjust for that. And he creates culture is king. He who contours culture is also king. Matter of fact, that's the job of a king, to contour and to shape the cultures that we in. But as far as capital not being available, I've never seen it that way. I've always seen that capital is very readily available to the African American community. As you know, if we put our resources together, we've been established as the 9th most richest economic-based group, just African Americans alone here in the United States. The problem is lack of wisdom in what we do with our capital. I think one of the things I've heard, and I'm about to really get in trouble. Here we go. This is Q Allen King. Here we go. Is the nonprofit status that flows through many of our churches. If you took the $1 billion income that flows through the church every year annually and you just broke that down, there is enough to fund every small business in every urban center throughout the country. But the problem is those funds flow through our churches and are not reported. The way the church game works, here we go, is that once you make a certain status, you come to a 501c3 and you do not have to report what comes in there on a Sunday morning. So people are sowing many times, but they're not reaping. The scriptures clearly tells us you are to reap what you sow, which means that if you put money in, at some point you should be able to get money out. So it's not the fact that we don't have capital, it's that the fact that greed, lack of wisdom, misunderstanding is blocking the capital opening. God will always make a way. If you can't get to the bank, he has set up his own system where we should be able to bless and protect our people. So we first have to open up that. The second thing is that, as he was saying, there's going to be an influx of different businesses, which means that we have to get used to doing business with people who don't look like us. You don't catch fish with food that you eat. You catch fish with worms. So we have to have an attractable bait that will allow them to want to do business with us from a marketing standpoint, from a presentation standpoint, from an excellence standpoint. We have to know what is their worm, what is their particular carrot to make them want to do business with us. Sometimes we're trapped in our community, and that's fine, but in order to expand and to bring resources out and back into us, we must do business with people who don't look like us. They have exploited our community for years. Asian people come to our community and sell us hair that they'll never put inside of their hair, but they will sell it to us. Hispanics will sell their food. So what is our bait, what is our worm to make us powerful? That's my 2 cents on it.
Thank you. I'm going to kind of jump in here, and I appreciate that, those opinions, because you're right on the money. Here's a couple thoughts from Brian. I've talked to some people who are very knowledgeable, and one of the things we have to do, and I'm going to say this, we have to stop being the victim first. We are going to have to go out and train up our youth, our kids, and even us to go out and seek information and also to get prepared. We need to create the relationships with the unions. I mean, the bottom line is we need to reach out to the unions. We need to utilize and get and work with them because they need us now. Like, as I said, with 5% unemployment, they are going to need more workers. We need to put out the olive brand. We need to, I guess, stop talking about the racist part and start figuring out how we can work with folks. Just as you said, we have got to figure out how to work with us. We got to first figure out how to work with ourselves.
Amen.
And then we need to figure out to work with everybody else. Because here's the fact: the churches have a role. All of these different black organizations, they've got to unite. They have to unite. We've got to figure out how to to work together, but to get good, qualified young men and women in the unions.
Yes.
Because I'm going to tell you, that's going to be the biggest hire in this boom. And if we can get them in the unions, then we will basically see some opportunities. We also need to work with the various places to get African Americans in all levels of the management field. We're 10.4% of the populace, yet we are nowhere near that when you look at all the way through the management ranks from the CEO down. So we have to create relationships of which we can have win-wins and compromise. So to my friend who kind of educated me a couple days, I heard you. We have to create win-win. We have to realize we are in a capitalist society. It is about making money. Let me tell you something. If you can help a person make money, it doesn't matter about the color of your skin.
That's right.
So we need to understand capitalism first. There is a way to create a win-win society, but it comes down with us realizing first, we have to be ready. We have to be ready to roll, and we have to basically figure out how to get around stuff. We cannot play the victim, folks, but we also need to unite. And I challenge all of these organizations out there. I work with the NAACP. I work with the Churches of Southern Nevada. I work with the Black Business Council. We're talking together right now about how do we come together and work with the various organizations as this boom comes on so that we don't get left behind. But everybody has a role out there, and we got to basically get rid of our egos and stop worrying about who's the leader and become more followers in this venture to go down and see prosperity for the black community, because that's what it's about. It's not about who's leading it. It's about what results we can get.
Unity, coming together.
Definitely. It's about unity. And
I want to say something too. I think we as blacks, and I'm not saying everybody, but we look for handouts instead of hands up. All we need is somebody to just give us the opportunity, but we have to be ready. You have to pay your bills. You have to have your credit together. If you don't do the basics, it doesn't matter what someone does for you. If you don't do it for yourself, you're not going to be ready. We have got to take charge of our own lives and start looking at leaving a legacy for our family, for our kids. Because if everybody else is doing it, if we don't start doing it, we'll continue to have nothing. We'll continue to have no place in society, and we'll continue not to make it. We have got to get ready, and we have got to work together, as Brian said, as black organizations, as organizations to come together to help our community.
Thank you. And we got a couple of minutes left. I want to put that challenge out, to all of the organizations here. We have a phenomenal opportunity. We have a boom coming. But if we don't pull together and we don't really figure out a strategy to get access to capital for our businesses. So I challenge, again, Senate Bill 126. All of us need to be sending a message. We need to be calling up the governor and telling him, look, you need to support that. And then we need to work with the folks who are doing this, Aaron Ford, make sure that some of that money comes into black businesses. We don't want to support it and get nothing. What's happened in the past. We got to support it, but make sure that we, as African Americans, you know what? We need the most. So give us 20% of that $20 million into black businesses. Let's not see it all go to other areas. We got about a minute left. Those of you who like this beautiful shirt, Black Business Equals Black Power.
It is sexy. I like it.
It's on the black market. That is our clothing line. Folks, forget about Nike. Forget about Adidas. Why do you need their brand? Does it really tell us what we need? We need to understand Black Business Equals Black Power. That is what is going to keep us or take us back to first-class citizens. When we own our economy, we are no longer slaves. So brothers and sisters, buy black. Download the black book. Use it and tell my brothers and sisters you are using it because they are a black-owned business. I thank you very much, KCEP, my radio station. If we didn't have him, if we did not have KCEP, we would not have a voice in the community.
Wow, that's right.
So again, brothers, peace be on to you. You want to say something?
Just to remind ourselves that, we really need to take the initiative and to be empowered, to make sure that we support our own, that we spend our dollars in black communities and to keep our communities viable.
Okay.
So continue to do that.
We got to go. We're out of time. Again, thank you from the Black Book. Download the Black Book and use black-owned businesses.
Peace.